Alright guys, we're at 186 days of my 120 day contract. 186. I hope you can hear me okay. They got the fans going, so I really won't know until I go to watch this later, if you guys can hear it or not. To catch you guys up, especially you that are new to the channel, if you haven't already, click that subscribe button, share, comment, question, whatever it is you want to do. I'm here to help, okay? It's made me feel some type of way getting your guys' questions and being able to answer them, because you know, when I figured out about the maritime industry and shipping, container ships, tankers, ro-ros, which are like car carriers, I didn't know anybody, you know. Well, I did. I found out from a family friend, but they had, the only knowledge I got from them was very outdated, and they were, you know, they were previously military, and then when they had retired from military, went in as an officer, started sailing as an officer back in the old days where there wasn't necessarily certificates needed to do this kind of stuff. You know, it was like, oh, you were 20 years in the Navy, you got enough experience, we'll bring you on as a junior officer or whatever. It's kind of how the family friend scenario was. So I was on my own trying to figure out all this knowledge. So yeah, I'm really happy to be able to help those of you that are questioning this career in this industry. So 186 days. If you don't know already, you might be wondering, how's it 186 of a 120 day contract? Well, Yarona. Yeah, so the pandemic really put a big jab into everything. I wouldn't say it kind of didn't make a major effect, I'd say, on shipping necessarily, not from what in my world of it, but it did complicate things. Guys were, you know, with the quarantine and everything, the reliefs and getting guys here got complicated. Well, about almost a month ago now, about half the crew was able to get off in another country. This current country here, things are a little more complicated for the procedures of getting people here, quarantining them, and then getting them to the ship. I was supposed to be off with that other crew, but they couldn't find me a relief. They did. They found me a relief, but they found him too late. So with here, the place we're at now, they need a 30-day notice of, okay, this person's going to be coming into this country. We need a 30-day notice. And once they get to the country, they have to be in quarantine for 2 weeks. So we are finally at the point. Actually, I haven't really got confirmation per se, but my relief should have been starting his quarantine today. His flight was supposedly on the 6th. Today's the 8th, so July 8th. And it's like basically like, you know, we are 2 days ahead here from the state. No, we're a day ahead here from the States. So it basically takes, and that's 2 days to travel in a way. So his flight was on the 6th. He landed here sometime today, I guess, and he started his quarantine. Now, the point of this video, today's video, is I have got a plane ticket. Finally have a plane ticket, but it's 2 weeks away because this guy's in quarantine. Now, the captain, the previous captain, now even the new captain that's on now, the previous captain said he would have tried to get me off early, but he can't do that because now there's a new captain. The new captain said he would try, but I guess when he sent in the email, the response he got back was a plane ticket with my name on it, and it's already dated for 2 weeks from now. Which, I understand. I'm not going to complain about that. It would have been nice to finally be able to go home. It's already certain the guy's here, but technically, regulations, they would be short a crew member, and I'm technically a required crew member because I'm an AB. I'm required to steer the ship. I'm required to stand watch. So I can't complain about that. I understand that. It just sucks that my flight is for July 22nd, which today's 186. It's 14 days from now. If you do the math, that's 200 days on this container ship that I will be here. That is 80 days over my scheduled contract. I'm not complaining. Who's going to complain about making money? It's alright. But yeah, so I got my plane ticket, guys. And I also want to... This is the main thought of this discussion. Just because you have a plane ticket does not mean you're going home. In my current scenario, being that this guy is sitting in quarantine, supposedly, he was supposed to get in today. I have not got a verbal confirmation that he did in fact make his flight and landed in this country today and start his quarantine. But they gave me a plane ticket. But that is my point. Just because you get a plane ticket, it doesn't mean you're going home. Understand, when you get into the maritime industry, you're not going home until you are officially on the plane. Okay? On the plane. Strapped in, about to take off. That is when you're going home. Even my past trips now, like, it seems so unreal when you're on a ship for over half the year, and then you get on the plane and it's like something's wrong. You're not working. It's weird. It's just kind of weird. Your mind doesn't grasp it yet. I usually don't even grasp it until I land in Seattle, and then things are wet, everything is green, and then you could smell the Seattle city air. But that's when I'm like, okay, I'm home. But there's been a lot of, for one scenario, my last trip or the trip before that, right? They had a relief coming for me, though we didn't even know it until the night before. But the night before I was supposed to fly out, I was called up to the captain, and he had told me that the company canceled my flight. I was already completely packed up. I had, my work clothes were already in a bag, ready to be thrown away, and yeah, it was my last trip because I had done 5 months. I did 30 days past my contract. And the day before I'm supposed to fly out, I go up there and he says, they canceled your flight. I guess my relief had missed his flight. So they canceled mine until they figured it out. And I was like, what do you mean? My bags are packed. My work clothes are in a trash bag. I'm supposed to be on a flight in less than 24 hours, and you're saying there is no flight. That was the news I got my last trip. But the captain was really understanding of me. I didn't like make a big deal of it because he automatically he told me it was canceled, and then he said, but I've already, he said he already emailed the company, told them the situation, that I had already been past my contract by 30 days. And, it's the captain's choice whether the ship is going to sail short. And he made that choice because I had already done 30 days past my contract without any kind of pandemic going on. That he basically had my back for me and, pushed the company to get me flights again. So I did end up flying out the next day. I went to sleep without any flights. I woke up the next day not knowing if I was going to have a flight or not, but I woke up the next day. The captain came down, he called me up, he told me to come up as soon as I woke up, and I went up, and he said that morning the company had resent new flights out, and my flight was just like 4 hours later in the day. So I was able to go home. But that's a perfect scenario. Just because you have a flight does not mean you're going home. It could change in the last 24 hours before you're about to be on that flight. Now, oddly enough, at the same time, when the agent came to pick me up, what do you know? My relief was in the van with him. And we had no idea of that. I get the chief mate, the captain, they didn't know it, but the company had also rescheduled the relief that he had missed his original flight. He contacted the agent in the States, the company or whatever, and they rescheduled him a flight a few hours later as well. So he was able to jump on the next flight and come over here. But the captain and the ship here had no knowledge of that. But yeah, that's my discussion for tonight, guys and gals. Just because you have a flight does not mean don't get your hopes up. I'm happy because, like I said, this situation, my guy should be sitting in a quarantined room right now, and it's not like he's going anywhere. He's here. So my flight should be pretty solid. There's no wood around me, but knock on wood. The OS even, he got his flight, and it's 45 days in advance. Now that is unprecedented, because I've never seen that done on here before, but with the pandemic, that's what happened. And I told him, because he was happy, I told him, don't get your hopes up. This 45 days is a long way away for something to go different. That's what I got for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button, comment, question, like, whatever. See you in the next one. I'll be going home soon.